She is a mechanical engineer from RWTH Aachen, did a PhD in computational fluid dynamics and a postdoc at CATS in Aachen. And she is now part of EuroHPC, and she will give us some insight in the future ideas, I think.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. I'm very positively surprised that even though we had the dinner last night and the rain this morning, and there is an online version, I heard, that you're still in the room. So shout out to that. Yes. I think I go up here because I'm such a small person. Maybe the system, you can see me better. So I'm a program manager, it's called, at EuroHPC in the sector for research and innovation. Today, I will give you a whole overview about what EuroHPC is doing. I'm not sure, I guess many of you have heard about EuroHPC, but in case not, or you might have forgotten, I will just give you some insights. So very short on who we are. We are basically an EU institution. We are a funding entity. So we are funding research, we are funding infrastructure. And while we exist since 2018, we were funded by the European Commission, by DG Connect, but since 2020, we are autonomous. So we are based in Luxembourg. And about Luxembourg, well, the weather is like in Bonn, I would say. Okay. All right. Yes. And so at EuroHPC, we have staff like me. We are implementing the work, but actually we are governed by a governing board. And the governing board is composed of different countries. So the EU countries plus other countries, for example, Iceland is part of it. We have the latest addition is the UK again. So they joined EuroHPC again. And I mean, EuroHPC stands for European High Performance Computing Joint Undertaking. And the last part is very important. This joint undertaking means that we are doing things jointly. So we have the different countries, we have the commission and the governing board, and we also have private members. So we have 3 private members that also have a seat at this governing board. So this is the BDVA, QUIC, and ETP for HPC. And together they form decisions on what will be funded, what will not be funded, what we will do in the coming years, and so on. We also have 2 advisory boards. So we have an advisory board for research and innovation. We have an advisory board more for the infrastructure side, and they plan basically the long-term view. And then whatever they decide comes then down to us, and then we have to do the work. So in general, we have different pillars of a mission. So on the one hand, we buy a lot of infrastructure, and we build this infrastructure and we maintain this infrastructure. So we buy basically supercomputers, but also quantum computers. And another part of this mission is then, if we have these computers, we give away the access time. Okay, and I will talk about this today on how you would get access to the computers and so on, because this might be very relevant for you as you might want to use free computing time. And then as a third part is that we are funding research and innovation in HPC, meaning that we want to have a full supply chain of supercomputing in Europe. And this starts with chip development, so that we have a proper European-owned computer chip, that we have a software stack, that we have HPC applications. And then last but not least, skills. So we need to train the people in Europe such that they can even use the machines. For this, we have quite some money allocated. So we are getting money that we distribute from 3 different funding programs. So one is the Digital Europe program. And here, like, for example, the computers, the infrastructure is paid by this. The Federation of the Supercomputers is paid by this. And also the skills and training activities are paid by the Digital Europe program. And then there is the Horizon Europe program. I think this is the most famous within this group, so you might have heard about it. So there is more about research projects. It's about, we fund our technology projects, our application projects are funded here. And also we have international cooperation projects that are funded with the Horizon Europe. And then we have the Connecting Europe Facility program, and this is for Connecting Europe. So we are using this funds for hyperconnectivity between the computers and also for data connectivity. So, and then as we are a joint undertaking, the good thing is always when the EU pays something, the national counterparts also pay a part. So what does this mean? If we build a computer somewhere, for example, you might have heard already during this conference that we are building a computer in Jülich, right, together with the colleagues from Jülich. So EuroHPC will fund 50% of it, and the other 50% will be funded by the national consortia, meaning that then also we get 50% of the computation time that we can allocate. The other 50%, they can do whatever they please. No, I see not, so maybe not what they please, but what really the German National Funding Authority and so on wants to do with it. But we don't have, I'm not sure if my mic is still working. Other one? Anyone? Or all right. Okay, this one is working. All right. Anyhow, so what I wanted to say is we match the funding contributions, right? And by doing this, we have around 7 billion euros that we can spend on HPC. And this is why this Euro HPC joint undertaking is so powerful, because of course you get a bigger computer for less money than buying several small computers. And this way we all have more computing time for a better price. And here you can see what we have done already. So across Europe, we have different machines. We have quite a few already operational. We have here in the middle, we see Jupyter, that is the computer. Where's the pointer here? Is the computer here in Jülich, which is under construction. We also have some more in preparation. I think I jump to the next slide so we see it a bit better. So we have 5 petascale machines. So we have Vega in Slovenia, Carolina in Czech, Discovera in Bulgaria, Meloxina in Luxembourg, and Dorkalion in Portugal. And then we have 3 bigger machines, our 3 exascale machines. So we have Lumi in Finland, Leonardo in Italy, and Mare Nostrum in Spain. And now we are very happy because we will have the first exascale in Europe, and this will be the big one here. And we also, so the next microphone, should I try the third one? And here are, okay, 3 is a charm. So we have also 2 further mid-range systems in Sweden and Greece coming up. And already we know that there will be a second exascale also in France, okay? And then we will have certain upgrades. So we will upgrade the Discoverer and we will upgrade Leonardo in Italy already with some modules. And yes, there will be also an industrial system. So we are having a system that is focusing on the needs for industry and will be also co-owned by industrial sector participants. And of course, is nowadays targeting AI applications. Also, we are trying to do a federation with the systems, meaning that basically you have a platform, a web-based platform. So this is the idea, I'm not sure far away, but in the future, that you as a user, you log in a web portal, you want to submit a job, you don't care where it's running, if it's run, or maybe you choose the architecture, but then wherever you have a free slot, it already allocates, and you just have a very nice, friendly web browser, and you have some visualization tools and so on. So this is also a project to have a one-stop shop access point for our users. You might have heard about the top 500. So those are the last numbers from the top 500 from May this year. So you see we have our 3 exascale systems are in the top 10. But all of our computers are in the top 500 in the upper half. And I think if you calculate all together, we have on Limpak over 800,000 petaflops, but only on this number. But so there is a lot of computing time already. And we also are represented well in the Green 500. And a very nice addition you see on the bottom is the JEDI module, which is the first module of Jupyter, basically. And this was ranked place 1 in the green list. So yeah, let's see what happens when we have the whole system online. Yeah, just I'm sure you have heard about it in the past days. So I will go again because it's very big. It's at the first exascale we are having. So it's located in Jülich. It's a consortium that will build it of Eviden and Partec. It needs to have, this is why it's an exascale, the condition is that it can have on LIMPAC 1 exaflop. Below this, we are not paying for it, basically. And it's a modular supercomputing architecture that will have a booster module that is supported by GPUs, and then there will be a cluster module, more like a general purpose processor and high memory bandwidth. Also in the module, there will be the RIA processor that is developed in one of our research and innovation projects, the European Processor Initiative. So they are developing a processor, and this will be used the first time in this supercomputer, which is really cool to have European technology actually built in a European exascale computer. And of course, not only this computer, but all our computers are then tackling the most demanding challenges for simulations and compute-intensive AI applications in science and industry. For example, digital twins, large neural networks, climate modeling, and so on. Now that I told you about how many great computers we have, the best question is, how do you get access to those machines, okay? So we have different access schemes. On the right side, I put your QR code, so you directly come to the website where you basically get all the information as well. And we have different access schemes. So until now, we always had extreme scale access, regular access, development access, and benchmark access. I will talk a bit more about those in the next slides. We have now a new call as well for AI and data intensive applications that is more suited from the application form to this type of calculations that you might want to do on the computers. And what are the conditions for access? So in principle, it's free of charge. You just have to do, well, some commitment. So you have to name your HPC. If you're publishing something, you have to contribute. Sometimes you will be asked to disseminate your work. And in the end, you have to write a report on what you did on the computers. All in all, I would say a fair price for using this amount of computing time. Okay, free wasn't a charm before. Okay, so who is eligible? If you're in a country that is associated to H 2020, you can run on all the machines that are online now. So it's EU countries plus, so you have to check if your country is associated. And on Jupyter, it will be the countries that are associated to Digital Europe program because it's funded with Digital Europe program. But basically, you can be from industry, you can be an SME, you can be academic researcher, or you can be public sector. It depends a bit on what you're doing on the computer, right? You cannot use it for commercial use or anything, but per se, everybody can apply. And then I will talk a bit about the access schemes. So down here, we have the benchmark access, which is our smallest access. So it's basically for some scaling tests, for some benchmarking exercise. Sometimes you need this access to get access to one of the bigger access schemes. And this one is really fast. So there's a cutoff every month. And then we have colleagues at EuroHPC that do some administration checks. And then usually you get allocated your time in 2-3 weeks. So usually this one is very fast. And then you get time for 3-4 months. The development access is similar. So it's a bit bigger. But basically, it's if you want to optimize your software, if you want to develop your software, but you don't do big production runs or anything. And this one as well is very easy. There's no peer review involved. You apply, there is a technical check to see if your software will be able to run on a system. And then within 2 weeks or so, you will get the computing time allocated. And this access goes up to 12 months, but typically often is 3 to 4 months as well. Then we have this call for AI and data intensive application access. So this is a new call to give you fast access for AI related calculations. And this one is given for up to 12 months. And there is a bi-monthly cutoff. So every 2 months they cut off. And usually there you wait around 1 month. So there are some experts checking what you're doing, but still this one, we really push that it's really fast. So within 1 month, you will have the time allocated. The regular access is if you have big research runs, applications that you need large scale simulations for anything, if you need constantly storage resources and so on. So you get a proper amount of computation time. There we have 3 cutoffs per year. And this takes longer. So it takes around 4 months, because I will show later why it takes longer, but there's a peer review process involved. And then last but not least, there is this extreme scale access, and how the name already says, it's for extreme scale. So if you really need a lot. And this one also has a scientific review, and there it takes 6 months from when the cutoff is until you get allocated your time, and twice a year there is the cutoff to get the computing time. So this is just a slide with some numbers just to get an idea. This is just for regular access on our machines. This slide is from earlier this year, so it's not updated yesterday. I'm sure these numbers already are over the top again. But you see we have over 6 building core hours awarded already on those systems. And on the right, you can see a bit who is basically using this. So we have biochemistry, chemical sciences, earth system sciences, engineering, and so on. I'm sure CFD is across all fields, in every field, basically. And here maybe I give you a bit of background on how what happens after you press the submit button, just that you understand the process and how things are evaluated. So if you apply for the regular access scheme, you do the proposal submission, then there is an administrational check by our EuroHPC colleagues. We have a peer review team within EuroHPC, and then there is a technical check, and then there will be experts basically looking at this, writing a report. Then there will be a panel basically for each domain. So if you have earth sciences, then there's this earth science panel that basically will check which proposal should get the computing time. And then there's an super panel that then suggests how to allocate this computing time. Each proposal is evaluated with 3 criteria. So the first one is excellence, the second one is innovation and impact, and the third one is quality and efficiency of the implementation. So in your proposal, you will have the 3 sections, and then there's a scoring system. You can score maximum 5 points for each criterion. So 5 is the best, 0 is the worst, but you have to get a minimum of 3. Otherwise, if in one of the categories you score below 3, you are below threshold, and then you will not get computation time. The same holds in total, so you can score maximum 15, but you would need at least 10 to have this allocated. Then we have something similar but different for the extreme scale access. So if you check the peer review, you have a scientific evaluation here in the beginning, and then you have a response phase. So whatever critics you get, basically, you can respond to that and check, and then later on the decision is based on this. And this is also why it just takes 6 months, because the process, of course, if you give away a lot of computation time, you want it to be well evaluated. But the rest is then again similar, just maybe to mention in the end, we always have the GB results approval. Like I mentioned before, we are the implementing arm, and the decisions are usually taken by the governing board. So in the end, they get the list, and then they have to agree that this list will get computation time. Now, just because also this one was tailored to be faster, right? So we wanted a peer review process, but for AI, everything needs to move fast, and this is to give you fast access for AI. So there is an expert evaluation, but you see it's very shortened. So there's just an expert evaluation, and then there's a first come, first served basis. So as soon as you're above threshold and there's place on the machine, you will get this computation time. And also, like, this is a special thing, the governing board allowed that this can go on a first come, first served basis without them approving, to make it just as fast. So, and this is how they achieve, even with the peer review process, to get you computation time within a month. And just also this about the AI call, so we see it again in different areas. I think this will change over the time, but here I think on the right, it's interesting to see. So most technical AI technologies used are like vision, natural language processing, machine learning, and generative language modeling. So those are the first that now used this new access. This new access is there since earlier this year, so it's quite new still. So we are still looking on how this will develop. Continuing with AI. So, I mean, I expect that you feel the same ever since ChatGPT was dropped. You don't get around this topic anymore. as well not Euro HPC. But even before this hype for AI, we had many AI projects already running on our machines. I assume you have many AI tools within your workflows. So we have over 100 AI projects already running on machines. We have national competence centers in each of the countries, European countries, and they help basically for people to get access to machines. And they also have been supporting AI projects to get access within the access schemes that were there before. But now we also have this new access scheme that will make it even easier to get access for something AI specific. Also earlier this year, we had this AI grant challenge where we awarded extra computing time well, as a prize for the award winners of this grant challenge that was launched by the Commission. And we have different calls to support AI-related HPC, so AI software stack, benchmark suite for AI-optimized systems, and we will have soon the launch of support centers for HPC-powered AI applications. And yeah, we also have some instruments. So we have a project that basically helps SMEs to onboard HPC. So this project existed for many, many years, but now it changed a bit. So now it's not just onboarding for the traditional HPC, but it has an extra track that if you are like an SME and you don't know exactly, but you have a use case, but you need some help to get onboarded, they also help onboarding you on this AI track. All right, so for the potential future AI initiatives, we will have more AI at Euro HPC. So the Euro HPC per se is based on some legal framework, which is called regulation. And this regulation usually lasts for a couple of years and then it's renewed or like it's closed and we will not have, so it depends a bit. But usually this is fixed spending. So our mission, what we can spend the money on, and so is very clearly defined. However, this was opened this year to include AI in it. So now we have AI factories basically, and this is one big name I will drop here. So AI factories basically means that we will have, the acquisition of AI systems suited for AI, that we will have update older systems with AI modules. And also around this, there will be services allocated. So this is why it's named then factory, because it's not just a computer, but it's the whole package that you basically can come and then do your AI-related work on HPC machines. All right, enough of AI. Let's do quantum now. The other fancy topic that we have at Euro HPC. So besides HPC machines, we also buy quantum machines, and it's similar. So we buy it together with the national consortium. We have this matching funding. And so far we have 6 selected hosting entities. So in Poland, in Germany, in France, in Czech, in Spain, and in Italy. And the first 4 are already procured and the deployment starts now. The last 2, they are still on the way, but they are all coming. And we expect that the first quantum computers will be operational beginning let's say mid next year. Also, we had another call now, so there will be 2 additional quantum computer located. So we are in the process of signing the hosting agreements for additional 2 quantum computer that will have the spin qubits technology. Yes, and on the right side, we see we also have a project already, HPCQS, that has quantum simulators that are currently deployed in France and in Germany. Besides having the machines, we also have the development of HPC quantum computing middleware technologies and have a call which is under evaluation right now for Quantum Excellence Center. They are dealing with the applications then for those quantum machines. Within the quantum machines, the idea was to have a very widespread diversity. So we have different technologies. So those are the technologies of the 6 that are already under procurement or procured already. So we will have photonic quantum computers, superconducting qubits, neutral atoms, superconducting qubits with a star-shaped topology, trapped ions, and quantum annealer. And of course, depending on the technology and how mature this technology is, they have different amount of qubits. So there are some systems that only have 10 qubits. The superconducting system in Germany will have in the first phase, I think, 50 qubits, and then later on 100 qubits. So there you already have a bigger amount of qubits. And this will always be integrated in HPC systems. So the idea is that the quantum computers gets integrated, and as a user, you access at one point an HPC system, right, via like an access node, and then you basically can put part of your application or whatever you want to run, which is quantum suited, and push it on the quantum computer. I think we will still have some time until we figure this all out, but yeah, we are working on it, and it's coming. And now a bit more on the research and innovation sector activities besides quantum. So we have over 40 research projects. I put your QR code there. There are different projects all over the place. So if you want to scroll through, if you see something that interests you, feel free. The idea, like I mentioned earlier, is to have basically a full supply chain. So you have the hardware part where we have the European Processor Initiative. We will also have a RISC-V initiative that will start soon, so working on the RISC-V chip. Then we have a lot invested as well in software stack. So we have the so-called C projects that are working more on well, input, output, bottlenecks, and so on that you have, and other software stack related issues. We had a call that just closed, and now the project will launch soon about an energy efficient call to have energy aware resource management technologies for HPC. And of course, we have the quantum middleware initiative. And then we have the application software. In the application software, we have the centers of excellence. So you might have heard about the centers of excellence, because I think this is the most relevant projects that were funded by EuroHPC for the CFD community. So we have Niklas sitting over there. He has one of the centers of excellence, the one that focuses on CFD. So I'm not surprised to see him here today. But there are different centers of excellence. I will talk a bit more about this. But we also have different application projects, and there will be different application projects in the future. But those are basically focusing on then the applications that run on the systems. And then last, but maybe most important, is skills and users. So we invest a lot of money in computers. We need somebody to use it. And so we are also investing a lot in these capabilities in educating. So for example, we have the National Competence Center. I mentioned them before. So we have over 33, and now we get 4 additional ones in different European countries. So you have a local contact point. So if you are in academia, it doesn't matter, in industry or like an SME, a public administration, you can go there and say like, look, I have this problem, I have this paralyzed code, I need access time, but I'm failing all the time, or I don't know how. So they will help you. They will help you apply for access. They will help you, like consult you on what you could improve on your code and so on. That really gets you onboarded on HPC. They also do a lot of training, so basic training on HPC. And then, yeah, so they have different offers. We have a master program. So we, 2.5 years ago, this master program started. So there are 8 awarding universities across Europe, and you do 1 year here, 1 year in another European country, and then in the end you get a master for HPC. And yeah, this is actually really cool, because right now we have just the first finishes of the masters, which is very nice. They get awarded, I think, in a month or so, like their certificate that they finished the EuroHPC master basically. And this is of course a great success, and we hope that those finished master students will then be the experts of the future for us. And also soon we will have a HPC virtual training academy launching. There, this might be interesting. So it's an idea to standardize what is out there for training. And if you, for example, you want to check what skills do you have, what do I still need, you can go there and then you can figure out, okay, I can do this, I don't know, I know how to use batch, I know how to, use shell and so on, but this one I'm missing, and maybe this would be useful for me to still do a course or whatever. All right, in numbers, on this research and innovation projects, we are also spending quite some money. So far we have spent over 580 million together with the countries on those innovation projects. We have 320 different legal entities. On the right, you can see that mostly it's research institutions and academia, but we also have SMEs and large industry also participating in our projects. In 35 different countries can benefit from the funding of EuroHPC so far, and we have 56 SMEs that were awarded funding of more in total of 30 million EU funds. And just last year, we have launched calls for 255 million euros. We have awarded grants for over 70 million euros, and we have supported with this more than 140 participants. And there you see that, well, we are trying to support quite a bit of researchers across Europe to get their work done on the HPC machines. Just because I mentioned it earlier, centers of excellence. So you find them all on our webpage. They have also their own web pages. So each domain has, not each domain has a center of excellence, but each center of excellence has a domain allocated to it. So there is one of earth science, there's one of materials, there is one that is focusing more on engineering and CFD, there is one that is more on space, right? And so depending on which domain you are, they have often open source codes. They are giving training for their codes. So it might be very interesting for you to check out if they have something that helps you with your research with their tools and whatever they are offering. And part of it is that they deploy their codes as well on EuroHPC machines. So, I mean, of course, this is also a project looking to the future. The idea is that you have codes that you then can just come to the system, log in, and it's compiled, and you can just start right away and don't need to do everything around that is usually very annoying, and you get some errors. Also about application support. So you see we have a lot of, well, user support and application support. It starts with other EU projects on a very broad basis, digitalization and so on. And then it ranks higher when it comes to the national competence centers, where I said they have some training. It's more basic HPC training. And they have also this project that I mentioned for SMEs to onboard. We have a project, HPC Spectra, that has a training portal that collects all the different training initiatives and so on. And then up here, we have the centers of excellence and the support center for HPC-driven artificial intelligence. And those are really specific trainings on specific topics and softwares that might be of interest to you. Besides, I talked a lot about European funding, right? However, we also have international cooperation with third countries, right? Those are always based on digital partnerships that are decided by the Commission. And then we might have an action with them. For example, we already had now a call and also now a project awarded with Japan. So this project is called Hanami. In the Hanami project, the idea is to exchange computer resources so they can access your HPC machines. The European researchers can access Fugaku. Then they do co-development of software, and also they do an exchange program of researchers, right? So there they focus on biomedical sciences, material sciences, like tsunami and performance measuring and so on. And right now under evaluation still is the call with India. So we will also have a project with India and Indian researchers on a different topic. So those topics are always agreed by some ministers on what they want to work on. And so here we have biomedical, natural hazards, and weather and climate modeling. And also we have, also within HPC Spectra, we have funding of an international summer school. So we always send a group of European researchers to the international summer school for HPC. All right, so the future activities, quite a bit. As you see, we have many construction sites at EuroHPC. So for one, now we have this AI factories that I talked about that will be this one-stop shop for AI applications that have the infrastructure, but also the services. There will be a call launched soon, I think in September. So we will see what comes out of this. We will have the delivery of the second exascale supercomputer, Alice Lecoq, in supercomputer from the Jules Verne Consortium in France. And yeah, we are finishing procuring the quantum computers. We are deploying the quantum computers. We will have more calls for research and development of application for exascale and quantum systems. So most likely this year still there will be a call on applications which will be more about disruptive algorithms, methods, libraries that can be used. It's not yet well completely decided, but if you are interested in those topics and funding for this, keep an eye on our website and see what is coming out. We will have a benchmark call for benchmarking for HPC, for quantum, as well as for AI. And yeah, we will also have a call soon, a successor for the master program, for example, because it's ending this first project and we will continue with the master and so on. And we will have more projects for skills development and training, and also this launch of the Euro HPC Academy that I mentioned earlier. Now I have two announcements. So first is Euro HPC User Day. So if you're already using Euro HPC machines, also if not, you're very well invited. But if you're using HPC machines of us and you want to give us feedback, or you want to showcase what you're actually doing on our machines, please come to the User Day. It's in Amsterdam in October, and 22nd and 23rd of October. You can share best practices there. You can gather feedback from Euro HPC users. You can engage with other users, and there's a proceedings. So you can submit your paper until the 6th. So you have 2 days left. If you have a paper laying around that got rejected somewhere else, maybe, and you need still this publication points for some project, you know how this works? No, you can, if you are using Euro HPC machines, submit your paper in a very fast manner. And then, yeah, feel free to join us in October. And this is maybe the most important slide. So if you slept until now, if you pay attention now, it's fine. We are hiring and we need more people. And we are looking for people in the research and innovation sector. So this is my sector. And we have 2 open positions. We have one position where we are looking for somebody with HPC applications. And I think everybody in this room would qualify for this, together paired with some AI experience, right? And basically, well, you can come later. If you're interested, please come up to me and ask me on how I like my job. I like my job very much. I think it's very interesting because besides you don't do like programming anymore, but you get a very broad overview about many, many cool topics and projects that are happening in Europe. You are like actively shaping what will be there in the future, suggesting what topics should be researched. So it's a very innovative job position, I would say. It's also, of course, you have some administrational work, right? As a project officer, you accompany the projects across the lifetime and so on. And we are a very nice team. We are based in Luxembourg, which is also a very nice place to be. I can assure you that. And we are now almost about 40, or I think over 40 employees, but we are still hiring because we have so many things to do. And we have 40 different nationalities. So we are very international, very cool team. And maybe if you're not for the HPC applications with AI, we also have a quantum position open. And so if you are interested in quantum and procuring, if you want to buy a quantum machine, HPC is your spot. Also, maybe if not in the room, maybe you know like somebody who's finishing their PhD right now is looking for a job, or like a postdoc that well is looking for something else than academia, but also doesn't want to go to industry. Public administration might be very interesting to that person as well. So feel free to distribute this message that we are hiring, and I'm looking forward to have you soon in my team. And with this, thank you very much. And yeah, we have some time for questions.